Hey everybody, this is Mike from EdgeNote 50 TV. Yes, EdgeNote 50 TV, and we're here talking about boxing. Yeah, so right now we're going to be talking about. There's lots of things to talk about this week. So many things. We're going to see if I can break it down as much as possible and go deep into it. By the way, if it's the first time you're listening or watching this channel, hit that subscribe button. If you like the show, hit that like button. And if you want to watch more of it, hit that notification button so you can, because I post normal shows on the regular. Also as well, so obviously you can follow me on my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, to get all the latest news. I'm trying not to sneeze at the moment because try not to get the flus, bugs going around at the moment. So, all right. So let's talk about boxing. So we've got lots of stuff. Davis versus Ruiz preview. What's going on there? We've got Wilder Fury. It's been delayed because the fight still hasn't been announced yet. What's going on there? Eddie Hearn thinks the 50 million is not legit. What's going on? An interview recently, I think it was yesterday or the day before, talking about the 50 million again. What's going on there? Dillian White, what is his options? What's going on? We're going to go break it down. We're going to go straight to it and go into the nitty gritty. So let's start with, who's on right now? Let's have a look.
TVE is in the building. Low place. TVE.
Hey, low place. TVE. Hey, how's it going?
Is that my mic? Am I got feedback?
Wait, have you got feedback?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. So how's it going, low place? How's it going?
Yeah, but just clicked on the link, see what you're talking about over here. I'm gonna give me some dinner in a minute.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, we're try not to keep this too long, but we're talking about a lot of stuff. We're talking about, Davis versus Ruiz preview. Wilder Fury's been delayed. Eddie Hearn talking about the 50 million recently. Dillian White's options. He's come out on Sky News talking about, the options, what's going on. So we're talking about all the stuff that's going on this week. And if there's more stuff that people want to talk about, we'll talk about it. So right now I was going to dive straight into the Davis versus Ruiz preview, and just talk a bit about that, so what, before I start about Davis Ruiz, is there anything you want to mention about it, or you just want to listen in?
Just gonna get smashed up, bro. This Ruiz kid just gonna get beat up, Early replacement opponent. They had Fortuna lined up to step in, but Fortuna's a southpaw. Morris is orthodox. So it's not a good thing to, change opponents like that. With Fortuna being good as he can be, they brought this kid out of nowhere. I can't even remember seeing him fight. I have before Hugo Ruiz. I've heard the name, seen him fight. I believe I seen him get knocked out before or something like that. I actually don't remember, but he coming up all the way to 130 versus maybe the hardest puncher. He finna get fucked up, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know much about this guy in regards to who's he fought previously. And, he hasn't got the greatest record, to be fair. And going up a weight division against one of the best fighters in that division, it just sounds like death by knockout, straight off the bat. So, I'm not really impressed with this opponent. But obviously, it's not Gervonta Davis's fault. For people that don't know, he was supposed to fight Abner Mares, but still, Abner Mares was fighting from a weight below anyway, and he's moved up. So, but he's a better quality opponent than Ruiz. And before the fight, he suffered an eye injury, which means he had to pull out. And obviously, Hugo Ruiz stepped in. The question is, is without doubt, Gervonta Davis would win this, no doubt, by knockout. But the question is that why couldn't they not find a suitable replacement in the same weight class? That's the question. Are you still there?
Yeah, of course not. You fight who's there, innit? Someone pulled out. If you pull out of a major bout, and in short notice, you're lucky you even get anyone where you've pulled a card. So if you want to start criticizing the opponent when, short notice, that's unacceptable. In my opinion, you get who's there in it. Like at least this guy stepped up. And the thing is, yeah, he's actually harder because you've trained for months for one guy, and now you have to change your whole fighting style. Like he should win, but there's no guarantee that happen. This is how upsets happen. Catch a guy short notice. He's very confident. Hugo Ruiz. Now I expect Tank to win, but bro, like you don't understand about boxing camps. Yeah, you've trained for one guy. You brought guys in. You paid sparring partners for that. For the Abner Murray's are aggressive. I don't know about Hugo Ruiz's style, but he might be a different boxer, so you have to change. You know he's from Mexico, Baja, California. What's it? Los Machizos. So he's definitely going to bring it. He's lost a couple of fights still, right? But end of the day, he's game. You know what I mean? He's just probably just there to make up numbers, yeah. But he's 32 years old, world champion. He's fighting for a world championship. He's going to give it a wall. So rather you could say a better opponent, they're lucky they had an opponent. So I'd say.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, look, they're very smart about this because a lot of the things that you're saying makes a lot of sense. And obviously, when you're training for one opponent and then all of a sudden you get a switch up of another opponent, that means you have to kind of change because you're getting sparring partners based on the opponent that you're about to face. So there's all those factors come into play. So I think, and obviously when you're fighting, when you're going to change of opponent, then you might as well change of opponent at a lower weight division. So then at least if he ends up being a problem, then at least you've got that weight advantage to kind of get yourself out of trouble.
That ain't got nothing to do with anything, bro. Weight ain't got nothing to do with skill set, bro. Like weight, people talk that stuff, don't understand boxing, bro. Like if you look at Mike Tyson when he fought, the guys he faced. I'm trying to show you an example. The guy, he was overweight by many, and you saw with Wilder, weight has not got to do with skill set. So even if you fight someone lighter, that means they're quicker than you. That's bad. That's not a good idea either. So what I'm saying is that the guy you've come in at short notice against a guy that you haven't trained for. This is how mistakes get made. So what I'm saying is that at least someone stepped up. Like, because you're asking about the opponent, could they feel the better? They got a credible guy there with an okay record. Because remember, you're supposed to fight Abner Morris. That's the guy you wanted. That guy pulled out. You've got this guy and commended to this guy stepping in. He's got a chance to upset and get a world title. And he really look at it, yeah. He ain't got nothing to lose, bro. He's the underdog. He ain't got nothing to lose. If he loses, so what? No one cares, innit? Like the Tank's got everything on the line. He's got the belt. He's a champion. He's the next heir apparent. He's with Mayweather. So this is what I'm saying to you. So it's a dangerous fight in that with the respect for Tank, yeah. For him to step up. Weight ain't got nothing to do with skill set, bro. I see people with weight, right? But we people know the skill, so we'll find out. But Tank's durable, he's got hits hard, so we expect Tank to win. But you know what I mean? This is how upsets happen, like I said already.
And also as well, one thing to consider is that Gervonta Davis ain't fought since April last year. So that's kind of a long time. Obviously it's still under a year, but still that's a long time boxing wise. He hasn't really fought. So, what do you think is going to be the same as he ever was, or do you think ring rust is going to become involved? That could be to his advantage, Ruiz's advantage.
Well, that's the thing. Abner Morris had the same about a layoff as well, so they both was out for a while. So that's why it was evenly matched. You get me? So with this Ruiz guy, he's been more active, isn't it? He's been active. So what I'm saying is that again, it goes back to the same thing. Even this guy's been underneath the radar. Like you said, no one's heard of him. So this is like I said to you, he's been more. And let me see the last time he fought. The last time he fought, actually, he ain't fought since April. No, where's the 1 minute? Let me see this guy. I got the box record here. Let me see. The last time he fought this year. He fought in January. You see what I'm saying? He fought in January. He won by unanimous decision. He went how many rounds did it? Wherever it is, he went the distance. So that means he ain't got no ring rust, bro. So he's fighting like next month in February. So he's good to go. This is what I'm saying to you. Tank, like you said, he's been out longer. So in that respect, bruv, don't be surprised he give Tank some trouble in early rounds. But you think Tank with his skill set, because you're only a little guy, he should come through. But this is what I'm trying to say to you. This boxing thing is very, very difficult. But we'll see what happens, how Tank deals with the change of the opponent last minute. Lennox Lewis had a change of opponent against Vitaly Klitschko. He was supposed to fight another, I can't remember, I think it's Calvin Brock or another Canadian guy. And that guy pulled out and they brought Vitaly in. And you see how Lennox struggled in that round. He lost mostly all the rounds before he ended up stopping Vitaly. So you might get that sort of fight. I don't think so, though, but we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see, because it's going to be interesting. Like, I'm happy to see, Tank Davis fight again. It's been too long. A lot of these fighters that I like watching, they've been inactive for too long. So I'm just happy to see how he acts in the ring, whether there's ring rust, whether he's back to his best, and how he looks. Because at the end of the day, look, we think that he's going to beat Ruiz, but it's all about, I'm thinking about the future. If he wins, then there's obviously, he's back in the game again. potential options down the line. Who could it be? So that's where it's going to be more or less down to. But I think probably after the fight, then that's probably where we could talk about the future, because we don't want to talk too soon. He might lose, and then we'll be having a completely different conversation. But I think, look, like I say, it's not going to be easy because of the change of opponent. But I think this is good for him, because he has to be, this situation's happening in boxing all the time, and I think he has to be able to learn to adapt on the fly. Do you know what I mean? He has to learn to adapt on the fly, and for him to get to obviously he's one of the best boxers out there at the moment, but I think, we haven't seen him being out of action for a long time, change of opponent and having to adapt in that way. So I think this would be a good thing to see how he does it, handles it. So I think, so what, obviously, I shouldn't ask this, but I'm going to ask it anyway, just for clarity. You guys think Tank Davis is going to win, right?
Well, everyone thinks Tank Davis, the betting odds is thinking they've obviously got a guy in there to make Tank look good give Tank some trouble for a couple of rounds. Yeah, we can hear you, man. Go ahead, Lopez, you talk. Go ahead, Lopez, you talk.
Yeah, my man. They just had to get who they can get. He gonna whoop him up, man. He's a bring-in guy to take this work. They trying to promote it differently, but you got to be smart and not worry about that. In my opinion, just go with your boxing brain. Tell you. They had an opportunity to bring Javier Fortuna in, but I actually think it was the stupidest thing in the world to even start talking about that. I broke that news the first day that Abner Maris was out. I broke that news on my channel, and then Fortuna came out just a few days ago like, yeah, Tank ducked me on short notice. And the truth of the matter is, you're a southpaw. He was trained to fight an orthodox fighter. You just don't do it. You actually don't. He's a young fighter. You don't want to sacrifice the whole card, because there's a lot of fighters on the card, right? Everybody's looking to get paid. Sharif Bogaré, different people on the card looking to get money for their camp. So if you sacrifice the fight for one thing, you fuck up a lot of people. So we got to take this one. It's a part of boxing. People get injured.
Yeah, I agree, man. I agree a little bit. That's what I'm saying. I agree with that.
Yeah.
He should. Because to answer your question, yeah, we expect him to win, but obviously they picked an opponent to give him a couple of rounds, but Tank should really be able to handle him. So, but hopefully we get some round to see what Tank in, and he gets busy. In 2019 was because in 2018 arguing with Floyd, they look quite happy because while this show is going live, the press conference is just finished right now. So they look quite happy together. They've obviously worked out whatever they need to work out. So, I was looking forward to that fight. For when it was named, I was really looking forward to that fight. It's a shame. But Abner Maris, he's so aggressive, his style of fighting is so aggressive in sparring. All does it take? He takes so many shots, that, boy, do you see that retina thing? That's a serious thing. A lot of boxers have that, actually. You know what I mean? The retina is thing. They can still fight. Look, Hank Armstrong and Henry Greb, they fought on with one eye, but in this day and age, it's not worth it. It's not worth being blind in one eye. So, I'm glad in this day and age they had the testing to say, well, boy, listen, it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's just a shame they didn't. It was early. If they should have found out much longer. You know what I mean? I mean, when did these guys find out? Ever say could they put in a more quality, like Lopez said, a more quality opponent? Having a tuner would have been nice, bro. That'd have been sweet. That would have been a good fight, bro. I would have liked to see that. Still, but having a tuner, to be fair, he fought the last fight, I think, at lightweight, so a super feather light. So to come down to that weight class, I'm not too sure. Actually, you know what? It's not that much, actually. Super feather and lightweight, he would have been fine, actually. Yeah, but I'd like to see that fight.
He was interested in doing it. But I definitely don't blame him. No, that you don't do that. You risk Tank. Nah. Tank a dude that's been trained, and Fortuna's been training for an orthodox fighter.
Well, you're not trying to do no Broner shit, yeah?
He ain't training for southpaw at all, so he would have been in there like, damn.
Yeah, that's why Broner got beat. That's why Broner got beat with his own arrogance. When he was on top of the world, when it was a welterweight, he does beat Paulie Malignaggi. He said, "I let my fans pick my opponent." That's like probably the dumbest move anyone could ever do. And he goes, and the fan said, "We want Marcus Madonna or we want Lucas Matisse." And he said, "All right, cool, whatever, innit?" And that's what happened, innit? You see what happened, innit? The results. So Floyd and them not learn from that shit. We're gonna guide your career properly, and we're gonna take our time with you, innit? We're not gonna do no fuck shit and just to be on some joke shit. Fight any person, you know what I mean? AB's confidence at that time was, they were saying he was the next Floyd Mayweather. He was this, he was that, and you see where he is now. They're talking about him and Keith Thurman, which is a freaking joke. Joke is a joke of a match, though.
Yeah, I heard about that. So we're gonna talk about that as well. Because yeah, I mean, okay. Before we move into that section, there, like, what do you more like Abner Mares? Obviously, he's had eye surgery. Do you think he's going to be the same fighter, or do you think he's going to get back into boxing again? Because I'm thinking if you have an eye injury, that's like, you know, you can't afford to be fighting at top level. Pretty much seeing through one eye.
They can fix it again. They can fix it, but in terms of like boxing, like he can detach again, innit? He can detach, you know. Your eye's not gonna be his eye's not gonna be the same again, innit? But you can fight with one eye, but you're just limited. You know what I mean? Why would you want to do that anyway? Like you got family. Boxing's not your life, innit? Like it's your life for now, but it's not your full life, innit? So he's got to look down and say, bro, but he's a fighter, and he needs to put food on the table, and that's how he puts food on the table. Bro, but maybe no state in America will commission him, but in Mexico they let Margo Antonio Margarito fight with one eye. He had a glass eye. He had a glass eye. They let him fight with one eye. So he might even fight again with one eye in Mexico. But I don't to make him fight again in America, I don't know. But Al Heyman, you know, it's lucky he's with Al Heyman because Al Heyman looks after these fighters. So maybe he'll be looked after. But it's a shame. I'm just saying.
Yeah, man.
They should have pulled it out a long time ago, bro. They should have noted it a long time ago and let Tank find an replacement because that realistically, that was a good fight. Why didn't they put in fucking Santa Cruz or something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if Santa Cruz wants it though, but that would have been good a fight.
Santa Cruz versus Davis.
He got time to fix everything up.
Yeah.
He a young dude. He got time to make that resume sparkling clean in the future. They can risk this one. It's just good they didn't take everybody money because when you train hard, you know, you got your coach waking up every single day, busting on your ass. He doing the job. Your water boys doing the job. Everybody doing the job. You don't want to just ditch your whole card, man. It's like Sharif Bogarey, all these dudes on here looking for a check and in the name of Tank Davis, and they getting it. So, you know, they sacrifice the best they can. Now this dude Hugo finna get the shit beat out of him.
All right. So speaking about that, how you think who's gonna win, and how do you think he's gonna win? I'll go first. I think Gervonta Davis is gonna beat him, and I think he'll beat him in 3 rounds. What do you guys think?
That's a good call. Shit, I could call that one, man. That's a good call, man. I think. You know what? I got an insight. I guess they might think like Tank might want to put on a show. So Tank might take him someone. Let's let the guy, because he do this thing in boxing. I was telling the guy in the gym the other, like when you start pulling on someone, and you put them out there, sometimes people like when you knock out someone, but Tank's one of them guys, he likes to mess people around. So he'll pull it on him and let the guy try to punch him and shank or just be parrying and messing around with him, just to put on the show to show the guy that he's not even in his class. So I think round 4 and 5 that he'll do it. What do you think, Lopez?
That's possible. It's possible either way. I mean, he do like to kid around. Either way, he gonna get knocked out. I don't know the round, but kid getting knocked out.
Yeah.
All right. So Lopez is staying on the fence with the round. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been knocked out 3 times already. Like he been knocked out like before the 10th round, before in the 12th round. He been knocked out late. He been knocked out early. Tank can just do whatever job it is he wants to do.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
All right, so that's the review. So I'm gonna talk about it on Sunday after the fight, so we can probably talk about it afterwards and see whose prediction was right. All right, so do you know what? Like obviously the press conference just is happening as we speak. So it's finished now. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. I'm probably gonna go and watch it afterwards and get some comments on it. But yeah, But also what was on about a lot long ago was the Chris Eubank and the Gale face to face. So did you guys watch it? And if you guys watched it, what do you guys think of that?
Yeah, I just listen. Everything the girl was saying was right on the money, bro. My man's deluded. Like Eubank, you know, you haven't done nothing near me yet. And there was one question that Eubank avoided. He said to him, when you fought George Groves, look how you fought him, and look what I fought him. Like I actually thought James DeGale beat George Groves, right? Maybe I'm on one of the few, but I actually think Eubank wasn't even in the fucking area code against George Groves. So how the heck, are you gonna perform against James Thing? And the thing is, he's listen, bro. The levels is so vast. Like Eubank has confidence and all that, but his dad, I can see why his dad doesn't. He said his dad not around, not being a part of the camp because look, he's making money, but the kid's living off his dad's name. If he didn't have his dad's name, he would ever. And I'm being honest with you. Like he bamboozled me as well. I started to believe the hype train, but bro, when it comes to this amateur game, yeah, and this boxing game, there's levels to this, bro. You don't hand out gold medals, bro. You don't hand out world championships. You think you can go in there and beat Darrell and the people he's beat, bro? Because Eubank was questioning him. I saw your last fights and you was fading, but I was like, hold on a minute, them guys are world class level, man. He was questioning about, I saw you with your gap in your teeth to the camera. He goes, I'm coming to. He said, Eubank said, I'm coming to collect the rest of your teeth. I goes, hold on a minute, but hold on, Eubank, go fight Badu Jack and see what's going on. Go fight Badu Jack, yeah. Go fight Caleb Truax and go fight them man there and see what I go on, bro. You know what I mean? Unless you're fighting that level, of opponent, you can't tell me that. And then his resume, it doesn't show anyone that he's fighting that level of opponent. Anyway, I'll come back in a second and let me just sort something out, right? You guys continue.
Yeah, no problems. By the way, if you guys catching it, it's EJ Boxing. So EJ Boxing Live's got his own YouTube channel, so go on there. He does lots of good stuff on there. Does lots of great interviews. So go on and subscribe to that if you guys or you guys probably already know him already. Yeah. So look, yeah, James DeGale and Chris Eubank Jr. I mean. Should I go deep into this or not? All right. Oh, fuck it. Let's go deep into this. Yeah. Did you guys see it? Did you see it? Did you watch it?
I haven't watched it yet, but I'm going to. I understand where EJ coming from about respecting where James been and all that, but it's not about respect right now. It's about I want to beat your face in, and it's about common sense. He knows James DeGale is shot. I do think that Eubanks would be the Caleb Truax. I think he'd punch him up if he wanted to. The truth is, Eubank hasn't struggled unless he's been on the world level. He lost 7-5, just like James DeGale lost 7-5. When DeGale fought Billy Joe Saunders, when DeGale fought George Groves 7-5. Same with Eubank. It's the same thing. These guys didn't cut it to that point. James got his opportunity to show that he was better versus certain fighters, and he went in there, he did it. Eubank hasn't gotten the show versus anybody that may be the level of a fading Darrell maybe or Butte like Groves did. So he's looking at DeGale like, okay, I'm gonna show it against you that it ain't that I'm not good. It's just that I fought better opposition than me. But you're not better opposition than them at the moment. You see what I mean? So he looking at him, he saying, yeah, your teeth missing, your body broke up, and I'm going to take you out. And I believe he should take him out. I believe he should stay on top of him like white on rice. Don't try to show people you can box and you look good when you circle the ring. Come to fight. He should come to fight, and he should come to beat up James DeGale because he's ready to be beaten up. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I agree with you in regards to some of what you're saying, and also you make some good points in regards to it. You know, what happened in the past is in the past, and it's all about what's happening now. And is James DeGale the same fighter as he was all those years ago? No, he's not. So that means that Chris Eubank has a chance against him. So all those factors come into play. You know, however, how I look at it I look at it like this, yeah. And I looked at it like the Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is this. Look, James DeGale is a world Olympic medalist, is a gold medalist in the Olympics, world champion. He's fought some of the best fighters in his division, and he's won some and he's drawn some, and he's lost. Yeah, but Chris Eubank Jr., when he stepped up to fight elite fighters, he's always come short. He's always come short against those elite world level fighters. And when he lost to George Groves was past his best when he fought George Groves, and he lost. And George Groves was fighting with one arm towards the end of that fight and still couldn't hit him. The problem I have with Chris Eubank Jr. is that he's fake. He's not a real fighter. He's an Instagram fighter. You know, he's a KSI fighter. He's a local porn fighter. He's not a real fighter. You know, like, you can't come into the boxing game and try to fight world-class fighters and try and tell me, oh, I don't have a trainer. And then you can't come to me in interviews and say, oh, what did you learn from those fights against George Groves? I need a trainer. Really? Really? Only when you fought George Groves did you realize that you needed a trainer. Really?
Ain't that part of it though? Like that's part of it.
It's part of it. Like I was under the understanding of when you start boxing, that's when you needed a trainer. Because how are you going to learn how to box without a trainer? Obviously, there's certain people
learning thing. Huh? It's a learning thing. You know, he went through it. He thought he was overconfident, and for him not to have a trainer and not to have the workout he needs, he roughed these people up. Like, I look at black fighters, and a lot of time people only look at them like you got no choice but to be slick. You can't go put on an action-packed fight and win it. Eubank is a fighter, bro. Like, he's coming to actually put some hurt on you. Whether he fails or succeeds, that's a different thing. But I mean, I can respect the fact that okay, now he's trying to learn something different. He's trying to give in to what he learned, that he needs one. I just hope that trainer doesn't take away his fighting spirit, because he actually needs to break James DeGale up in this fight. You don't need to box him.
Yeah, the problem is that it hasn't got the ability or the skill to beat someone like a James DeGale. Like, people have to remember this. James DeGale, he might be faded, but you have to remember, he's fighting people that are good at the basics. James DeGale is not good at the basics. So when you're fighting someone who's not good at the basics, yeah, he can go and swing punches, but he's not good with his feet. He can't close the ring down and go and chase DeGale. Do you know what I mean? He's not good with the jab. You know what I mean? He can swing, he can bang. Yeah, he can bang. And you have to remember, the weight division he's fighting at is not his weight division. It's not his weight division.
Truax was 160 pounder. Truax was 160
Yeah, but he's got the basics though.
No. Truax is a bad fighter, bro. He's not a good fighter. Eubank would demolish him. I think Truax would beat. No. Trust me. He's over here in the States. Truax is a basic fighter. He's been knocked out by Danny Jacobs, been knocked out by Anthony Durrell in the first round. He's a worn, older, basic fighter, and he would not lose a fight he wouldn't win a fight versus Eubank Jr. And that's what Eubank has to think, that I'm gonna get on top of you, stay on top of you, and I'm gonna pummel you. At this point, you just can't go in respecting James DeGale for what he was. You gotta look at the man for what he is. And Eubank's trainer, the only person that can make a mistake in this fight is the trainer trying to prove that he can teach Eubank to box. You need to prove that later on, 2 fights from now, or the fight that is needed. Because you don't need to be boxing this guy. You need to hit his elbows, hit his triceps, his biceps, his shoulders, everything. You need to keep your head in his chest and make him feel old and make him remember Badu Jack.
I just don't think if he fights the same way that he fought against George Groves, trying to bulldoze, trying to be the bigger man and try to do that's not gonna work at all. He's gonna get shown. The blueprint is there. The blueprint is there with George Groves, and James DeGale was looking at the George Groves fight and thinking, if I do half of what George Groves did against Eubank, it's going to be an easy night's work and easy night's payday. He don't have to absorb energy. He don't have to have lots of energy.
He's not George Groves, right? George Groves has so much more left. Remember, James DeGale has let Porky Medina slow-footed get on top of him and work all night. He sits on the ropes. He just takes punches. He starts trying to hold. He's trying to be a crafty veteran. Eubank should be making him lose points in 2 different rounds for holding because he's working too much. He's a younger, more athletic fighter. This is a different James DeGale. He is a different James DeGale. I'm telling you, this guy is done. He is done. And he shouldn't even take this fight. The fact that he's in it is like it's a cash out. Groves is too tough to fight right now. Even though he got knocked out, Groves probably has much too left. Let me try my chances holding on to Eubank. But it's just as bad. It's just as bad.
I just don't. The reason why I think that James DeGale will win is just that I just don't think his pride would allow him to lose to Eubank. I just do not think he would allow. He will never live this down. If he loses to Eubank, that's it. He will never live this down. He will never live it down.
But the pace that how can he live down that he lost to Truax? How can he live that down?
Yeah,
He's
but
dealing with that.
Truax is one thing. Truax is one thing. People don't know who Truax is. So it's like, okay, you lost to Truax, so like
But
it's
they know he
behind closed
lost.
doors. But they know Chris Eubank Jr. And Chris Eubank Jr.'s reputation is not great right now. So if you lose to somebody who everybody who's seen and watched who don't rate at all, like even if Eubank Jr. beats DeGale, he's not going to get no credit for it because everyone's going to say it was a washed up DeGale and that's who you beat, and he's not going to get no ratings for it. So effectively,
No,
do you know what I mean?
He's
So
not. But the point is, he just needs to do it anyways. Like it's going to be worse. It's going to be worse if you don't do it. I mean, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But you'd rather be on the damned if you do spectrum. You don't want to take a loss. Nobody wants to sit that on. Like he's going to beat the. If this dude doesn't go in here and put a tornado whirlwind of a 20, ain't he like 27? How old is Eubank Jr.?
28, I think.
Yeah, if you don't put a 27, 28-year-old whirlwind on this dude, you didn't want to win. If you come, like, he might even be able sharp enough to outbox him and play with him. I don't doubt that. But I wouldn't give a veteran a chance to try to craft me out and make it a stinky match and win with a slap here and a slap there. I get right on top of him and pummel him, sit him on the ropes for 2 minutes of the round. James DeGale will submit. He might quit. This it may be the fight. He says this is enough. I'm too old. I'm too shot.
And I think this is important for him because obviously I don't think Eubank reputations. This thing is, this is a good fight for Eubank in a way of, if he loses to DeGale, everyone is expecting it because DeGale is a world-class fighter. So people are not going to be down on Chris Eubank for losing to DeGale. So, but then if DeGale loses, then everyone's going to be down on DeGale because they'll be like, well, you've lost it. You know, that's why he's saying he should retire. It's all about how DeGale is in this fight. If it's the old DeGale, where the Durrell, the man who jacked DeGale, or is it going to be the Truax DeGale that's going to come to play? This is going to be the question. I just think that DeGale will not allow himself to lose to Chris Eubank Jr. I just do not believe he will allow himself to do it. There's too much pride at stake. He will just do whatever it takes to win that fight. He will not allow Chris Eubank Jr. to win. I can imagine being in his head right now. Do you know what I mean?
You're gonna have a lot of laughs. This fight's gonna be funny because it is. He's gonna be holding on to him. He's gonna be holding on to him. He's not gonna be able to take the work. He's gonna be holding, and he's gonna be looking like a clown. And at some point, he may try to get himself DQ'd out the fight by holding. It's gonna be a give up, kind of quit situation if Eubank fight the way he need to. I recognize what you're saying. James DeGale want to have heart. He don't want, but at some point, it's just like the beating tells you, no, don't have none of that. Have a beating and have a different tomorrow. Have a better tomorrow. That's what he'll do. He has no choice. He's just out of it, man. He's out of it. He is not the fighter that people want to bring him out to be. He's just done.
So do you think? Okay, I'm not gonna do predictions, anyways. I'm gonna save that for the next couple of weeks from the fight week. So yeah, but like, you know, in the face-to-face chat, DeGale won the battle with that. He was saying lots of legit things on there, which is true. And you know, look, we all know that DeGale has got a lot of ammo on Chris Eubank Jr. And it just comes down to Chris Eubank to show everybody that he's not that fighter anymore, that he's a different breed of fighter now. That he can be compared to the elite fighters, because at the moment he's not. So, but yeah, is there anything else you want to say about that?
No, I haven't seen him face to face, but I will soon. I'm pretty sure it's entertaining because DeGale talk a lot of shit.
Yeah. I mean, it's entertaining for sure. I mean, DeGale makes it entertaining, so watch it definitely after this. Yeah, I mean, Wilder Fury. It's been delayed. They've extended the negotiation period by another week, I think. So obviously, this is not going as smoothly as the first fight, because you probably saw it before. Wilder was like, if two people want to fight, we just make it happen. You know, we just made it happen. You know, it's easy. You know, and Tyson Fury's like, yeah, it's easy because we want the fight. You know, this is why it's easy. But now it's been delayed. It's not as easy as it was in the first fight. So why do you think it's changed? Why do you think it's not as easy as it was before? You know.
Tyson Fury was never meant to be in this position. You know, he was meant to get knocked out. Wilder thought he had easy pickings and he had, a upper hand on AJ. Like, yeah, I'm gonna get some money and I'm gonna be 60-40, 50-50 in my favor, 60-40 or 50-50 down the middle, and I'm gonna have some validity to it. He hasn't believed his own hype. He was trying to cheat the situation, but this sport has a way of humbling you. And now Tyson Fury's like, motherfucker, I bring just as much to it as you. You can't do a pay-per-view in the States without me. And it's true. It's true. Nobody would buy Wilder versus Big Baby. Like it would be fucking very low ratings on something like that. So this, Wilder's a joke. Um, it all comes down to he didn't handle Tyson Fury the way he claimed or his fans claimed he would. And they don't have leverage. They have a situation on their hand where they're about to lose their title if Fury comes to fight. And if I was the people who like Eddie Hearn, let's say Barry Hearn, anybody who wanted to bid on this fight, just think of anybody with millions, I would sue the WBC right now. I say you keep setting deadlines for people to handle their business, and then I pulled all my money. I may have got a loan, I may have did this and that for the date of that purse bid, the date you set, and you caused me damages because I planned on winning it. It's time to make these people do right by boxing. Every sanctioned body putting the force on them because I'm kind of pissed that we should know about this fight done or not right now. They had a chance to get everything done and they failed. They failed. It should have went right to purse bid. WBC has to quit doing stuff like this, extra extended times and all. No, say what you mean what you say, and sit and wait for something to happen. If it doesn't happen, Wilder has been mandated to fight. He is a champion. If the fight does not happen, it goes to purse bid. If Wilder refuses a purse bid, he is stripped. If Tyson Fury refuses a purse bid, then he's no longer mandated. And don't push shit back. You see what I mean? Like, maybe I wanted to bid. Maybe I wanted to bid 20 million. They caused me damages, right? If I really had it, right? Didn't they cause me damages? I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, the problem is with these organized, these governing bodies is that it's very difficult to put pressure on them because in their T's and C's, it's all discretionary. Due to our discretion, it's this. The mandatory is 12 months' time, but it's discretionary, and all this is discretionary, purse bid, discretionary. As long as they put discretionary on there, then that's the way out for them to really do whatever the hell they want. And no one can't do nothing about it. So that's the problem. That's the problem that they have right now. That's the same reason why Dillian White is number one, but then the person who's ranked number 3 is number 1, but not because they made a promise behind closed doors to Brazil when to fight somebody who wasn't in the rankings to be in the rankings. And that's why Tyson Fury was in the rankings, even though he was out for 2 years and hasn't fought nobody in the WBC, but he's still number 5 in the WBC above. Do you know what I mean? So in the day, they do whatever they want to do when they want to do it, and it's difficult for people to do anything about it. The problem about, in regards to the WBC, do you think that Tyson Fury is going to make it go purse bids if he doesn't get what he wants? Because
good question.
Because when you look at it, because it depends, because like it's going to be close to a purse bid. If nothing doesn't, they said they extended it by another week, but then
it's a good question. The thing is, sometimes when they extend it, they right at a deadline. I don't like that either way, but we got to deal with the fact they've extended it, and they said they was right at an agreement or whatever. Some people saying they're close to an agreement. Eddie Hearn believes they are at an agreement, and they just need a little bit more time. So. I don't know. If it goes to purse bid, you got anybody that can bid. They can put the fight where they want to put the fight. That's an issue. Frank Warren had $50 million for Joshua. So what if he brings $50 million for Wilder? What does Al Heyman? How can Al Heyman match that? Can DAZN jump in there? It's so many things. It may be Wilder dropping the title. It may be Fury leaving out. It'll be an interesting thing. That's why I wish the WBC did their damn job so we could make boxing interesting and see who really are the money players when it comes to big fights. Because people like to point to Eddie Hearn and say, "Oh, you lost a purse bid for Josh Warrington." It's like, who the fuck is Josh Warrington to bid on? But when it comes to Tyson Fury, Deontay Wilder, we gonna really know who got the money then, right? When it come to AJ getting 32 million allegedly, the zone really showed you the money, right? When it
Yeah.
come to Golovkin, they trying to give you 22 million over 2 fights. That's money. Fighters that bring the money will show who got the money. So that's why I wish they would have went. We would have actually learned something about where everybody else is at today.
That's the thing, like Anthony Joshua allegedly getting that mullah. But to be honest with you, I'm not surprised about that because we always knew that the zone was going to bump up the money if he's going to go to the States and fight in a smaller venue, and not on pay-per-view. They're gonna give him the money that he would have got if he fought in England. So that's not surprising. The question, and I don't think Wilder or Fury is going to get the money that AJ is getting to fight on the zone. So if it goes to purse bids, I don't think it will go to purse bids. I think they will negotiate. I think they've. Look, if I was to guess, I think they've come to an agreement, and I think that they have, and I think they needed to delay just to sort out paperwork and things like that. That's why I think what's happened. But it's still interesting because, it's not been finalized. They said it was going to be finalized by now, and it's not. So obviously, if they're delaying it, it means that things is not totally right.
Damage controls, man. Damage controls.
Do you know what I mean? It's
like
not totally right.
Wilder don't want to fight him again. Wilder does not. What Wilder wanted to happen was to knock this cold kid out and say, "Give me all the credit. I beat the best man in the world. He beat the best." Blah blah blah. A bunch of lies, right?
Yeah.
That's what he wanted. And when he got in the ring, he found out that boxing is much harder than the La La Land that the LDBC wants him to live in. And this is why we are at this point where this man is being exposed left, right, and center. No matter what he does, there's a mountain of exposure coming to it that he didn't need in his life or his career. So when you do fake shit, you get fake shit in return. Now Tyson Fury is looking at it like, motherfucker, I am your equal. I beat you. I'm your equal. You know what I mean? Pay me or I don't need. That's probably what's going on. They talking about venues already. So-and-so writing a blank check. Well, look, if that was the case, the deal would be done. Somebody else going to step in and win that damn purse bid, and they're going to be looking crazy. And Wilder's likely going to drop his title if he's not fighting on Showtime. To be honest with you, I can see that happening, that the man has to drop his title if he's not fighting on the Showtime pay-per-view.
That'll be a disaster because Wilder wants to keep that belt and wants to defend that belt. So I think they're under pressure to try to negotiate. I think that that Fury has all the negotiation power in this situation. Really, they've ordered because the WBC has ordered it. That means that he has to go through. Wilder can't pull out or else he'll lose his belt. Simple as that. He can't decide. He can't pull out. The only way he's going to pull out is if Fury pulls out. So I think, it's going to be a game of who pulls out. Who's the one that's going to back down first? Fury can wait. He can say, no, what? I'm not happy with the deal. If you don't, I'll make it go purse bids. Because Fury thinks he can beat Wilder no matter what. He'll beat him in the States. He'll beat him in the UK. Whereas Wilder wants all the advantages. Because he needs it. Because he will lose.
That's
Do you know what I mean?
That's true.
He will lose. So,
very true.
Hey
man, I'm gonna have to run. I appreciate you sending the link.
Yeah,
we had good
conversation. Cool, man.
I'm gonna have to make my own video on this purse bid too because it is very interesting, and they, I do think they should be sued, the WBC, by anybody who was thinking about making money in it. But like I said, appreciate the link. I gotta get some energy in this belly, and I'm out, man.
That's cool, man. That's cool. Yeah, everybody, that's Low Place. He's got a YouTube channel, so don't remember to go on there. He's probably going to talk about purse bids, and he does lots of all interesting stuff about fighting. He also does fighting previews as well, showing predictions of how the fight is going to go down. So everybody go into his channel, subscribe. Anyways, take care, Low Place. All right, so let's talk about So in regards to the Wilder Fury delay, that's why I think it's been delayed. In regards to that, look, personally, I think it's not going to go to purse bids. I think they're going to find a way to make it happen. If it goes to purse bids, it's going to be a nightmare, and it's not going to be good at all, whatsoever. So, do you know what? Let me see if I can throw a conspiracy theory out there. Let me see if I can throw. Actually, I'm not gonna throw no conspiracy theory. I might save that for another time. Yeah, but yeah. So in regards to Wilder Fury, it's being delayed. I just want fights to be announced. Joshua, Dillian White. I just want fights to be announced. So let's see what happens with Wilder Fury. But any news or updates on that, it's going to be on my social media. So subscribe to follow my social media if you're on it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. All right. So, let's talk about Dillian White's options. Now, Dillian White, he's he's been doing the rounds and interviews saying the fight with Anthony Joshua is dead. He wants a fair shake. He wants the money. He wants more money. He knows what he's worth. So effectively, he's turning into Anthony Joshua. He's turning into Anthony Joshua before my eyes. I'm a pay-per-view star. I'm one of the best heavyweights in the division. What happened to the old Dillian White? What happened to the Dillian White that, oh yeah, I'm the can man. Anyone can get it. But now, it's like, he needs to have a name. He needs to speak English. He needs this. He needs that. It needs to be pay-per-view and all that la. He's changed into the corporate Dillian White. He's no more the raw Dillian White. What happened to the raw Dillian White of old? Look, there's 3 options that they've put for him. Brazil, which is Dillian White's first option. Luis Ortiz, which is the last option. And you've got Povetkin, which is probably going to be the favorite. Now, ideally, he wants to fight Brazil. But Brazil, I don't think that's going to happen because I think Brazil is going to wait. Now, Dillian White said in a recent interview that, it was put to him saying, well, why would Dominic Brazil fight you? He's mandatory with the WBC. He can just wait it out. Why would he risk it fighting you? Now, Dillian White said, well, if we offer him enough money, then he will take the fight. Then he is more possibility that he'll take it, because if he goes mandatory route, he's going to earn less money. Well, that's a decent argument, but not really a strong argument, because number one, Al Heyman, he's known for giving under the table kind of money to fighters. So he could have just said, no, Dominic Brazil. And also remember, Dominic Brazil's a PBC fighter as well with Al Heyman. So Al Heyman could go to Dominic Brazil, whatever you do not accept no fight. Whatever anybody offers you, let me know and I'll do a price match. Yeah, and he could just say, you know what, I'm sitting tight, I'm waiting. Because when I fight Wilder, I'm probably going to get the same amount as what Dillian White's offering me, or even more. So the likelihood of that fight happening is very small. And also, I heard that Dominic Brazil has done a recent interview saying, if that fight with Dillian White happens, it has to happen in the States. Which to me means he's not interested in fighting Dillian White. So that leaves Povetkin. Luis Ortiz is not going to happen, because why would you fight to become second mandatory when you can fight Dominic Brazil to become the mandatory? Doesn't make no sense. You fight to become a second mandatory, you could potentially wait up to 3 to 4 years to fight Deontay Wilder. What's the point of that? No point. So then you've got Povetkin, who is available. Personally, I thought Povetkin was going to fight. I thought that was going to be for Ortiz. Oh no, sorry, for Usyk. I thought it was going to be Usyk versus Povetkin. That's what I personally thought was going to happen. But it looks like they're going to be making Dillian White versus Povetkin. It's the more realistic option. He's available. He's worked with Eddie Hearn before. He's a name that people are aware of because he fought on pay-per-view against Anthony Joshua. And it's a good barometer fight as well, because he has the chance to do better than what AJ did. And also they can compare and see how Dillian White does to Povetkin compared to how AJ did against him. So I think that's a good, interesting fight. Is it the fight that I prefer? No, it's not the fight I prefer. However, I understand how the game works and understand that out of all the fighters I want to see happen, that's probably the best outcome out of the fighters. Now, there's a lot of people that say, yeah, let's fight Luis Ortiz. You know, let's get the Luis Ortiz fight. But, you know, I'm not really interested in Luis Ortiz. You know, like, he's fighting what? Christian Hammer? You know, I mean, he has to fight a proper opponents, man. Fight someone in the top 10. Fight a Joseph Parker. Fight a Povetkin. Fight Usyk. Fight a name. Don't fight Kozhanu. Like, Nathan Gorman is fighting Kozhanu. Daniel Dubois, a 20-year-old, is fighting Kozhanu. So then Luis Ortiz is fighting Kozhanu. I mean, you're fighting fighters that people that are 7-0 are fighting. Do you know what I mean? Like, you need to, you know, you're fighting someone who's ranked 203 in the world. You know, you need to fight people that's in the top 10 or at least in top 20. Now, Christian Hammer's better, but, you know, I'm not really interested in that fight. You know, so I think that Luis Ortiz versus, you know, I think Luis Ortiz needs to step up his game. I wouldn't be interested in White versus Ortiz. So I think I'd rather see him fight Povetkin and Dominic Brazil. So I think the Povetkin fight is going to happen. I'll be very, very surprised if the Brazil fight happens. And you have to applaud Eddie Hearn and Sky if they can make the Dominic Brazil fight happen. Because that is they will have to offer him some real mullah. And they have to really convince Al Heyman to make this fight happen. And based on Al Heyman's history, fights don't happen unless Al Heyman wants it to happen. So it's going to be very unlikely. But yeah, Povetkin, if it happens, that'll be good. Also, it'll be a good night of boxing. You know, there's potentially Joseph Parker coming back. You know, Lucas Brown, Dave Allen, he's a fun guy to watch, entertaining. So I think overall, if the main event is not the strongest main event, at least the undercard, there's going to be some good fighters on the undercard. So, you know, I think I'll be happy whatever they pull out of the three. All right, let's go to the final topic of the week, yeah? Eddie Hearn thinks the 50 million wasn't legit. You know, look, you know, this has dragged on for long time. Since last year, people saying 50 million wasn't legit. Was it not legit? What's going on with it? And I thought this topic was dead. We spoke about it at length. We talked it to death. But somehow, some reason, IFL TV brought it up again from the dead. And Eddie Hearn had some very interesting things to say. People from certain corners are wondering if the 50 million real or not real. The fact of the matter is, my view on the whole situation is, for me, it's real until I see it. If I don't see the money, then for me, it's not real. When I see it, it's real. Until I sign the contract, you know, the same way when I buy a car. I don't believe that is my car until I sign the deal to buy the car. So in regards to that, yes, but that's not the question. That's not the situation based on the whole. That's not the situation there. The question is not as whether Eddie Hearn thinks the 50 million is legit or real. People are putting that narrative to Eddie Hearn to say that he doesn't believe it is real or not. That's not what the question is about. The question is, does he believe the offer is real? Does he believe that the offer that was presented to him was legit in regards to he believes that the offer they presented him was with the intention of them making the fight happen. And he doesn't think it was legit. Because he made some very good points. People may like him, may hate him, but he's made some very good points. When someone puts an offer, so he said that Deontay Wilder sent the offer for 50 million from his own account. So that means that Deontay Wilder sent them it himself, not Espinosa, not Shelley Finkel, Not nobody else, not Al Heyman. Deontay Wilder sent it. So then he's got the right to say, well, Deontay Wilder sent me an offer for 50 million. I know he hasn't got 50 million. So how is he going to get that money? So then Espinosa comes out and says, oh, well, the 50 million is real. Shelly Finkel says the 50 million is real. And those guys said the 50 million is real. But the question is, it's not about whether the money is real or not. The question is whether the offer was legit as regards to they had the intention of doing the fight. So one thing Eddie Hearn has been, he's been consistent. I was going to do a video on this, but I thought, no, I'm not going to because it's so clear as day. The offer was sent on April the 26th. On April the 27th, he came out on an interview, IFL TV, and said the same thing. It's not about the money. I don't care if the money, it's not about whether the money is legit or not. He wants to see the terms of the deal. Because Anthony Joshua's got agreements with Sky and other networks. So if he fights on another platform, that 50 million may not end up being 50 million. It may end up being 25 million. So then if he gets an offer for 50 million, and then after, TV networks, all that, it ends up being 30 or 25 million, then it's not really a 50 million offer, isn't it? If you do your math, it's not a 50 million offer. Let's make it like this. If someone offers me a house, let's say someone offers me, I don't know, 5 cars. I want to offer you 5 cars. Yeah? That's fair enough. So you're offering me 5 cars. Okay, great. So then, but then wait a minute. I've got to give my car to my uncle. I've got to give one car to my uncle, 1 car to my sister, 1 car to my brother, and 1 car to my distant cousin in Japan or wherever. That means really, I'm going to end up with 1 car. So really, so what's the point of taking the offer if I'm only going to end up with 1 car? It only makes sense. So that means that really, for me to end up with 5 cars, you've got to offer me 10 cars. Because then I can give cars to other people. And then I can still keep the 5 cars. So, hey, Johnny, how you doing? All right? Yeah, man. Look, we've been talking about Hugo Luis versus Gervonta Davis preview. Wilder versus Fury being delayed. Eddie Hearn thinks the 50 million wasn't legit. Dillian White faced DeGale, Chris Eubank Jr. face to face. So we've been talking about all those kinds of things today. So right now we're talking about Eddie Hearn thinks the 50 million wasn't legit. I'm not going to go too deep into it because we've talked into it for a long time. But the main thing is that whether anybody else or the public or whoever thinks that the 50 million is legit or the offer was legit, it's all about who the person who received the offer thinks of it. Yeah? If the person who's receiving the offer does not think the offer is legit, then the offer is not legit. It's as simple as that. If my mate down the road offers me £20,000, I know that he doesn't have £20,000. So I'm not going to take him seriously because he doesn't have the money. And if his cousin, he says, oh, but my cousin's giving me the money. I'll be like, well, why don't your cousin come to me with the money? Because I need guarantees. So that's my opinion on the whole situation anyways. I'm not going to go too deep into the 50 million. I've talked about it long enough. But I thought, IFL TV was talking about it. So I thought, okay, let me just talk about it and just confirm. I was going to play a clip, but my system's not working, so I can't play at the moment. So on my video, as you can see, it's not working. So that's why you can just see my logo on there, which I'm going to sort out in the next few days for definite. So, but yeah, so that's pretty much the situation at the moment. Yeah, so I'm gonna keep this short. This is not my normal 2-hour show that I normally do, but I'm gonna do more shows coming down the line. I think my next show is gonna be this weekend, probably on Sunday. Oh shoot. Probably probably on Sunday. So I'm gonna do that. But the Sunday show is gonna be early. It's probably gonna be around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm gonna do that show. So, but I'm gonna post it anyways on my social media before I go on. So it's gonna be 4 o'clock in the afternoon, not 8 o'clock at night like normally. So it's gonna be my live show. Yeah, so that way I'm gonna talk about the Davis and Ruiz fight and also more. Hopefully we should get some fight announcements. I don't know about you guys, but I'm just waiting for some fight announcements. I want to see who Wilder and Fury, if they're gonna fight. I want to see Joshua, if who is he gonna fight. I want to see, Usyk, who's Usyk gonna fight. I want to see Dillian White, who is he gonna fight. I want all these fights to be announced. Like, we've been waiting long enough. Our patience is running thin. So but anyways, that's all for today. If you guys watching it late, you can watch it from the beginning. It's not going to be that long. If you watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you're liking the show, and if you want to keep up with my news, you can watch it on my social media. I've got my Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You can watch it on that. If you guys been listening, thank you very much. Thank you for Johnny for listening and watching. And thank you, man. I'm always trying to do the great work. I'm trying to, on my grind, anything boxing, me, I want to talk about it. So, but anyways, if there's anything else you want me to talk about, any topics that you think you want me to talk about, just let me know and I'll talk about it. Thanks a lot, guys. Until next time.